What are you like most excited about now that we have the official baseline rules?
Playing like a Vuvuzela on the other hand.
We know Sultanate needs help with armor.
Try to stay positive about everything in Trench Crusade, but
Heavy flamethrowers now -1 to injure. And that can't be anything but good news for Grail.
this is the best change of 1.0.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of In the Trenches, our Trench Crusade podcast with Brian and Adrian.
Back.
We're super excited to be here today talking about Trench Crusade. We're going to be doing this as an ongoing series. In the world of YouTube, we have a tendency to want to have super tight, really compressed videos, which are great.
Yes.
Because people's lives are busy, but we also know that there's a desire to kind of have longer conversations, discuss the nuance, see what's going on, right? So what we're going to be doing in this series is talking about kind of more long-form topics. So we'll be hanging out with you for the next hour or so. If you have some hobbying to work on, it's not a bad time to do that.
Yeah, it's good painting videos. I have things like this on all the time.
I was going to say, right? That's how I consume like a lot of battle reports, things like that. Is like I'm hobbying and building, right? Yeah. So we're going to be doing that. We will, of course, also be talking about some news and announcements in the beginning. So as we are getting started, if you are involved in a Trench Crusade project, whether that be a new product or content or something, definitely shoot us an email. I'll put it in the video here. And you can reach out and just like let us know, and we can maybe feature it in that.
I'd love to paint some cool models. Yeah. Would be great. Hit me up.
Brian's on the hunt for new cool models.
Always.
It's got an obsession.
Yes.
But yeah, the idea is, kind of just spread the word of what everyone's working on in Trench Crusade. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll be diving into today's topic, which is the 1.0 changes for Trench Crusade.
Huge.
We have the official core rules now. They are set in somewhat stone, but maybe print. And there's a lot to go through, so we're going to kind of help parse through them, talk about what we think are some of the most interesting and impactful changes. Yeah. And kind of see how they set the tone for the game moving forward.
Yeah. Some of them are not even impactful, just things that personally I think are very cool.
Yeah.
Things that I'm very excited about, like my campaigns to play, or like when I'm running them. Just good changes, I'd say, overall.
I think campaigns is a good thing to mention, because we play this game narratively, right? Yes. So why are we here with a video talking about the crunchy rules? This is not like here's the rules you need to know to crush your opponent. It's the let's talk about what this means for the game. We still care about the rules. We're still interested in them.
Absolutely.
But this is not like a sweaty tier list.
No. This isn't about how to break your opponent day one. It's just more about we're establishing the baseline at 1.0. If you've been playing a while and are kind of jumping back in, this might help you get caught up to speed. So.
The idea. So with that, let's talk about some announcements first. As we mentioned, so the new rules are finished, and Factory Fortress has just announced that the books are going to be shipping soon to various parts of the world. Sounds like December will be the first
January
batches.
For United States is what it sounds like.
Oh, fingers crossed.
I've seen pictures of the prints. They look very good.
It looks amazing. And they did have to do a reprint because the colors were super dark.
Appropriate for the setting, but you also gotta see and read the art.
So. There's a limit. And having seen the PDF of it, I really like the stylistic change to a lot more of these sort of black and white illustrations and sketches.
Yeah, it's a good throwback to the old Mordheim rule books. If you ever seen any of those, some of the old salts will definitely get appreciation from that. And I do like how they put the campaign book. The book gets a lot bigger because they put campaign and everything into the same book. So
yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah. So that is on its way, paper copy. In the meantime, everything is still available on the Trench Crusade site as a PDF right now today. So check that out. We also want to talk about some other things. These are people who have, frankly, been super supportive of Trench Titans, and turns out they do really cool things.
Awesome.
So first off, we've got Diceverse, who reached out to us right when we started doing Trench Crusade content, because they have a really cool store doing lots of different STLs on My Mini Factory. They have a link down below. So they have everything from different kind of warband sculpts to really cool terrain.
The terrain I'm really excited about. Because I really like the scatter terrain. I think that's what makes the tables that we do is you just build a thing and then all the little scattered pieces. So they had some good gravestones and just even bodies and stuff. It's a little grim, but tasteful grim. So.
Well, I mean, one of the most common questions we get actually is where do we get things like the corpse pile?
Oh,
right?
Really? Oh, yeah.
And so it's these little tchotchkes, little addendums really help transform a board into make it something cool and narrative.
A lot more, yeah.
And gross.
Can I do a little spoiler for the naval thing?
You got it.
Okay, we have this naval thing that we're working on, and some of the boards there's shipwrecks, and I had this what if we had a shipwreck, but there's a bunch of corpse piles coming out of shipwreck,
that's so
these gooey shipwrecks, and I'm that's so metal in Trench Crusade, but I love it so much.
We do need to have a gooey shipwreck now.
Yeah.
Maybe a gooey corpse reef or something.
I know. I already did GUI Armory Depot, so
yeah,
I feel
that's
like
true.
I'm running out.
Everything's GUI with you.
I know.
Look, you can write season 3 and it'll be GUI again.
Anyways, the little tchotchkes, I think they really sell the board, and they got some great options for that. So
cool stuff.
Forward.
Check them out. Of course, I got disclose they did give us all the STLs for free.
Yeah.
So if you want to consider that a sponsorship, you can. But it's cool stuff by cool people. So that's really cool. And then also wanted to shout out Trench Tactics. If you're from the Warhammer 40K world, you might be familiar with Auspex Tactics, which does a lot of like very kind of clean breakdowns of rules and explanations.
Yeah.
It's super helpful.
I don't even play 40K, but I still listen to those because it's just interesting, and he delivers it in a very precise way.
It's just very good information.
So that kind of format for Trench Crusade, right?
Exactly. Okay. So Trench Tactics, same kind of format, different creator from what I understand, but it's cool. And I think, again, there's a lot to kind of dig through. So if you're looking for explanations of rules, check it out.
Yeah.
So just a few cool things going on in the world of Trench Crusade. So as mentioned, if you have something you want us to talk about, shoot us an email in the link down below. With that, Brian,
yes,
should we get into this?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's take a look at the rules 1.0.
So we're going to go through different sections. I think like core rules, campaigns, a little bit of breakdown on the factions. Not so much the sub-factions because there'd be a lot to cover, and we'd keep you here all day.
That's like a whole episode right there, honestly.
We'll maybe touch on those if we do like faction deep dives, which could be a fun exercise. But we'll start with just like kind of the core rules and some of the changes I think are impactful. These aren't necessarily in order of what I think is the most impactful.
Right.
It's just kind of what I was thinking at the time. But the first one I think is the +1 dice to injure only applies for melee attacks.
Yes.
So that is a little bit walking back on the power of shooting, which I think is good. Shooting is already pretty strong in Trench Crusade.
Yep.
So giving you more of an incentive to like fix bayonets and go up there and like just kind of top someone off is good.
This is in the trenches, right? So you got to be fighting up close to people, get close, and it helps to. There's a lot of things that you want to do when you're setting up a board and scenario and everything, because shooting is already so strong.
Yeah.
So this is going to make that a little bit less important, which is good. You're more likely to be able to set up a table and just start playing. Yeah. And that's also just like very narrative. You're going to go over and like curb stomp them, right?
Yeah, whereas it's just kind of shooting someone. Like the bullet's still hitting them the same, whereas I think if you're coming at someone with like a club and they're on their back and you got momentum, I don't know, just narrowly you can sell it.
Yeah, if anything, if you're down, you should be -1 to hit because your profile is smaller than shooting.
No,
so
that's for sure.
I think this is a good change, honestly.
A good change to push, I think, a little bit more towards the way of melee, which I think is good. Defended obstacle, I hope someday next. I think that one could go, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's so wacky. And there were a lot of little cleanups as far as like terrain and terrain height and things like that for inches and things like that.
Yeah.
So minor changes to that, but notably +1 dice to injure only in melee.
Good change. Good change.
This next one is interesting, and we have some mixed feelings on it.
I'd say controversial.
I think it's very controversial.
Yeah.
So we'd love your thoughts in the comments down below.
Yeah.
So grenades, formally, it functions like any weapon. Essentially, you would target a model, you would throw it at them. It didn't scatter the way that like an artillery witch scatters, but it would have the blast keyword. So you would have this kind of template around it. Now you no longer target models; you target point on the battlefield. That sounds fine until you unpack it a little bit.
Yeah, it starts to become an issue very fast.
Because they don't scatter, you can sort of just, like let's say I have a model in combat, you have a model in combat, they're fighting each other. I can pick a point where I'm going to guarantee hit you, maybe not directly, but I'll hit you. Yeah. And I can't scatter onto myself.
Exactly, yeah.
And that feels a little weird.
Yeah, and it's already on top of grenades are just incredibly efficient. Like, they're not expensive unless you're like, splurging for some of the more expensive ones, but it's like ignore range penalty, ignore cover, like just super accurate. And now you're giving even more like utility out of, like you can scalpel people out of combat. You can scalpel people if they're like behind cover, like even if you can't see them, if you can see the point where you throw the grenade and that point of the grenade can hit that guy. No. Which is like a narrative win because it's like you're throwing a grenade and getting like flushing people out of cover. I get it. But it's just like another thing that's like boosting grenades and kind of pushing them over the top. Worth noting is that you don't get the bonus dice to crit on everyone in a blast. It's only if you do target someone. So there is some incentive to still like target someone if you're like fishing for a crit, for example. But other than that, it's like, man, like you got to be a lot more careful about spacing out your guys too.
Oh, for sure.
No one's safe.
Yeah, exactly. So mixed bag. Thinking about it, I don't mind the throwing around the corner to like hit something.
That's cool, right?
That is cool.
That's cool.
It's just the combat part I don't like.
Yeah, I think that's
So I don't know. When we play in our campaign, I don't know. I might just aim for the model still because there's a slight benefit, and it just feels narratively better.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence, and I would love to hear what folks in the comments, how they feel about this. As written, totally you can snipe someone out of combat.
Absolutely.
So it's not like we're putting shade on if you choose to play it this way, because that's literally how it's written.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Maybe I was going in order, because this is the most impactful one that I was saving for last, I think at least. Shaken is now the rule of the land. Right. So now whenever you fail a morale test, you're not just out, your warband, the game doesn't end. Amazing. We're now using the optional Shaken rule. So if you're not familiar with that, whenever you take your first morale test, if you fail it, your warband becomes shaken. So now, anytime they take an action, it's just going to be risky for that whole activation.
Okay, okay.
The next round, if you fail a second morale test, then you're out.
Right. So way less punishing.
Yeah.
It still hurts, but
it does.
Previously the game ended immediately. You don't even finish anything else. You're just done. I will say, though, you also do get the option to just run away when you fail your Shaken.
I'm glad you brought that up.
That's great for campaign play.
I can't remember if there was wording in that for like 1.6.3. Someone remind me if there was, but I mean, we obviously let people in, like the campaigns I was running. It's like, no one wants to like, I'm sorry, you have to stay here while like clean your clock. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No, like if you don't want to play, you don't want to play. That's fine, dude. But I'm glad that they have like an eject button if you're just getting creamed and you know it's gonna ruin your campaign.
It's just. It helps you kind of tie into the campaign a bit more, you know, where it's like, losing people, having to roll it on the trauma chart and things like that, that's real. So having that option to be like, I'm going to just cede the battlefield, not going to worry about trying to get any more glorious deeds or whatever, and I'm just going to pull out and try to save that. So that becomes an interesting decision in an ongoing campaign.
I do, and I think it works. I think it works for the narrative too, which again, I love for Trench Crusade, because it's like you have the Shaken, so there's a mechanic there to show that your guys are like losing, you know, their nerve. It's not just like an on-off switch like it was before. Yeah. But also you have the decision where it's like your leader can decide like, hey, like we could probably stick it out, but like he's thinking about the next 2 weeks in the campaign. He's just like, we can't sustain these kind of losses. Yeah. We're getting out.
Exactly. I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And a couple, you know, side things around that is leader. So basically, as long as you have a unit with the leader keyword, which you can't have multiple, you'll still get your leader ability. Doesn't work if they're downed. Which is pretty funny. Yeah, I can't really lead from down the ground.
He's not very inspiring when he's face down in the mud. Sarge!
Exactly. And the troop banner did change. I think it's a little bit worse. It no longer counts as extra models before you check. It's when you check, that unit has the leader keyword.
Honestly, I've never taken a troop banner though.
I'll be the same.
Yeah. If you
usually thinking something else.
Yeah, it's my hands are very important in Trench Crusade.
I know.
I want to hold a shield or a weapon. So.
Yeah, and you need that musician somewhere, which is usually like if I have a spare hand, they're holding a musical
instrument. I wonder if you could have a guy that's just like he's got a banner and he's like playing like a vuvuzela in the other hand.
Yes.
Like, he's your musician. He's your hype man, right? Like
you guys
we're going nowhere. I don't know. But he does literally nothing else. That's all he does.
Yeah. I like the idea of a trench vuvuzela. That sounds actually horrifying.
We'll try to get it on the next video. I don't think the sound will handle it.
We'll make it happen.
We'll see. And then just a couple honorable mentions. We're trying to do like 3 per section, but I thought these were at least worth kind of throwing out there.
Totally worth mentioning.
So attack priority selection.
Yeah, this is a good one. So this is when you have multiple weapons. You have your main hand, you have your offhand.
Yeah.
You can now choose which one is going to go first. The second attack will be your offhand, so this could be with your better weapon, but that might be worth it because you're going to get you can generate your blood with your trench club or whatever, take your malbranch sword, -1 to hit, whatever, you're hitting really well, and then kind of try to clock them out there. So it's nice to be able to have that choice, and it was a rule that, especially if you're starting out in Trench Crusade, was easy to kind of confuse yourself of like, what am I allowed to do? And now you can kind of do whatever.
I definitely saw a lot of players when they're just like, oh, I want to start with my trench clubs, and then I want to finish with my big sword. And I'm like, I would totally let them do it because like, hey, like have fun, you know, that's awesome.
Right.
But now that's something you can totally do. So like models like the Desecrated Saint, like that's a great change
for them. Yeah.
It's a big change for them.
You got to warm up with your trench clubs and then finish them off.
It felt really bad when you like start with a malbranch and then just like knock them down, or God forbid minor injure, and then like just tap them with a couple of trench clubs trying to seal the deal. Like,
you just can't get through the armor at all. So that's a nice quality of life change.
Yeah,
right?
It's kind of small. I don't know if it's gonna be super impactful, but I like the versatility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one: if you are knocked down during your activation, it ends your activation.
That is great.
It's just clean.
Because it was awkward before, right? You could like be downed and then risky action to get back up, and it's just like,
how much movement do I have left?
It's super
Am
awkward.
I still in or out of the rain. Like I don't know. So it definitely got messy. I like the idea that if someone just trips you on your way out, like you took the risk.
Right. It's more Trench Crusade.
Yeah.
It's more Mordheim.
Yeah.
Like you done messed up.
Yep.
And that's it. Moving on.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
Another one worth mentioning is Gas Mask,
Yeah.
which became very popular in the late games of campaigns.
Very much so.
Yeah, so it used to be -1 to be injured by gas, and you negate the gas keyword.
Yeah.
Now, it just negates the gas keyword. It doesn't further reduce the reduction.
Yeah, no, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we got there. But yeah, like late game, Gas Mask is only like 5 ducats, right?
Yeah,
so
might as well.
you're having it on there. A lot of the good ways to deal with armor is gas. A lot of factions have access to gas grenades. So you would see those types of weapons like falling off. Like they're still good for just putting on blood markers.
Yep.
But now without the extra -1, you still have a reliable weapon that can punch through armor and feasibly take people out of action.
Yeah, and you think of things like gas grenades, which is an assault weapon, so you're still wanting to like use them and come in and you can actually have a chance of doing something. At least get some blood on them.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting change. I'm still not out if it's good or bad. I know like gas weapons are already very strong, so anything that kind of makes them better, I'm a little hesitant towards. But
that's fair.
I will say it is more in line with kind of the 1.0 rules. Is just like the negate X.
Yes.
And I think it's a little bit easier to remember. It's like like a helmet gives me negate shrapnel. A gas mask gives me negate gas, like something like that. Infernal brand negate fire. That's
there you go.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it's just like not having to remember that extra dice modifier.
Yeah, and I think that honestly caps a lot of just the other changes that we're not mentioning today, which is just general cleanup.
Yeah.
A lot of things that were rules are now just a single keyword.
Yeah.
There's a couple new keywords that were introduced, but by and large it was just kind of making things more succinct, which is what you would expect from a 1.0, right?
Yeah.
Especially for the core rules. So we just actually, Goonhammer just released an interview talking with Jamie, who of course is COO of Factory Fortress, talking about 1.0 is truly a 1.0. It's not necessarily let's go in and tweak all the things and balance all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's really just making sure everything's streamlined and professional and ready to hit the printers. So far, very much in line.
Yeah. No, good changes. Yeah.
With that, let's take a look at some of the new campaign rules and what that entails.
My first change, which I love as someone has run a couple leagues, is winning and losing is more important now than the amount of actual points you score in the game.
Yes.
So now, as opposed to like scoring 30 victory points one scenario, only 7 victory points one, like you get really mismatched scores. Now it's just like if you win, it's 15 points.
Okay.
If you draw, it's 10. If you lose, it's 7. Like there's a rubric now, which is great. Because when you're writing scenarios, like sometimes it's just going to happen where you're going to have some very high scoring scenarios, and like if someone like just does bonkers at that, and then like there's like some really low scoring ones, and maybe someone's trying to catch up on those, it's just like very hard. So
and like the low scoring ones, like sometimes when you're designing custom mission, it just makes sense. Like you can kind of otherwise you're just kind of inflating the points, randomly.
Yeah,
it's like if you're trying to pick up 5 relics over the course of the game, there's not really a reason to have this be any more than 5 points, right? Maybe 10 if it's 1 per side, right?
Unless you're just arbitrarily making them worth 5 points each.
Yeah, so it avoids bloat. It means you don't have to scale the mission yourself to match the overall campaign.
Yeah.
So this is a great quality of life change that is keeping in the spirit of Trench Crusade, which is you, the players, can make your own rules, make your own campaigns, make your own models, and gives us the tools to do that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a huge sigh of relief, like making scenarios, especially for like a campaign where multiple leagues, like trying to make it like all the scenarios kind of work where there is an even playing field for everyone. So like you have the ability to be creative and just kind of go nuts as far as what you're designing, like spinning cannons or something silly like that. But you're not worried about someone just running away with the campaign from the first week.
Yeah, so that standardization is awesome. And another standardization, the scenarios are very different from the beta rules.
Yeah.
We're not going to go through those today, but what we will say is they are all played on 3x3 boards.
Yeah, that's actually huge.
Very big deal. I think, so the game is and was able to be played on a 3x3 or a 4x4, but those missions seem like they might be setting a tone there and kind of a new standardization that comes along with a slight reduction in the scale of one-off games. So now you're going to be playing with 800 ducats in a one-off game and 6 glory rather than 8 glory. So slightly smaller on the warband size and a foot smaller on the board size.
The board size, I think, is the bigger impact there.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Oh, so here's the thing. in many deployments, you were setting up 12 inches in.
Yeah.
You're going to be 24 inches away-ish, and a lot of that might be the same because there's a lot of dead space around the board.
Yeah.
So it's a standardization thing, which I think will also increase the accessibility of the game.
Yeah.
Will we have to cut up our boards? We'll find out, and we're ultimately going to see what this means for the community, and they're the ones that are going to decide this.
I'm kind of happy actually because all my trenches go like that much further, like 25% further. Like, all
That's
my
so
terrain
true.
is
You can cover way more boards.
That's great.
It's so true. Oh, and of course this comes off, and you guys don't know this because we haven't released the campaign, but I finally made an actual physical board.
You did.
Which is a 4x4.
It's a 4x4. It's a 4x4 foam board too.
But I'm here for it. I think it's a good change. So, you know,
Yeah.
standardization around those scenarios is really the first major change for the campaigns.
Yeah. Another big change for the campaign also kind of ties into scenario, but glorious deeds, when you score them, you get a victory point now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's more incentive to kind of play into the narrative of the scenario because you know you're doubly rewarded for the campaign side and also helping you win, which I think is good because some of them are like obviously very risky to do and like you could, I see oftentimes really jeopardizing the game. Like going for some of these glorious deeds.
Exactly.
Whereas now at least you can say, hey, I get a victory point out of it.
Yeah, it's some rationale for going for it, right?
Yeah.
And lets you do the cool thing. I think this one is a bit more onus on custom mission designers because
you do have to be,
it directly impacts it. But it's good. I think, again, especially if you are playing a one-off game of Trench Crusade, those will actually matter. You'll engage with them, you know, things like that. Whereas before it was just for the tiebreaker. Speaking of which, it's not a tiebreaker anymore. It's just going to count towards the main mission points.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that will come up, but overall, it's a great change.
Yeah.
And then the third big point I want to talk about for campaign changes are changes in advancement.
Yeah.
So first of all, mercenaries can become elite, which is awesome.
Rad. I love it.
Really fun, especially, you know, I don't want to spoil, but you got some stuff coming up for our next campaign.
Yes.
So that's cool. And then I think my favorite change about it is the fact that when you do make a troop into an elite, you can then gain XP in that same game. Whereas previously, you roll to advance, you become an elite, you're not eligible to get XP until the next game.
Yeah.
Well, now you get it right away. It just feels better.
It's a very nice quality of life change because it's also like, he learned something. He should gain XP. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
He got promoted for some reason,
It's
right?
like, hey, you got a cool thing tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
And it also gives you a reason to have anyone potentially going for glorious deeds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, shoot your shot while you got it, man, because you're living in the trenches. You're not going to be long for this world.
True.
So again, another kind of nice quality of life change that feels good. So overall, really happy with the campaign updates.
Yeah.
I think now we're going to dive into some of the more faction-specific changes. Again, there's a lot of sub-faction changes which are quite dense. Not going to cover that today. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do that in a separate video. But we're going to go over the overall changes for each faction.
Yeah, just the core elements of the factions. New Antioch. Let's start with a positive one.
A fan favorite, right?
Fan favorite. So I'm playing Antioch for the next game, and I had a lot of fun with my first game.
Oh, it was
They're
awesome.
very tricky to play.
Yeah, you know, we mentioned this before, but they're a popular faction for people who are starting the game, but they're difficult, honestly.
They are,
They
yes.
really are.
Yes. If you're starting the faction and you're really drawn to Antioch, like, by all means, live your truth. But I do think Trench Pilgrims is a very beginner-friendly faction. Very forgiving. Because you get like 3 tough models to start.
Exactly. Whereas Antioch, you're dying all over the place. But good news if you're playing the Sniper Priest.
Yes.
They got better at doing their main thing.
They did. So they had this aim action. Not a lot of you guys might know this because it was a risky action to get +2 dice on your ranged attacks, and people wouldn't do it because it was like a flat 7, right? You don't want to just kill your activation.
Very dubious.
But now you get +2 dice to it.
That's awesome.
So you're going to be seeing that a lot. And I think this is actually a really cool change for 2 reasons. One, because you get to use it and you're more accurate.
Yeah.
But also it gives you some like defensive play against the Sniper Priest. Because as you know, Sniper Priests, they blinded themselves. So like spending blood markers to foul their shots doesn't work on them. You can't spend blood to add negative dice for their ranged attacks. However, now since Sniper Priests are going to be going for the aim action and it is risky, you can spend your blood to try to foul that aim action.
Oh, that's fun.
And then tank their, so they actually have to think now if they have blood, like if they want to risk trying to go for the aim. So I think it's great.
Now there's like blood in their eyes as they're trying to, or blood in their faith. Wait a minute.
I don't
Maybe
know.
the gun's slippery. That's what
the gun is slippery, yes. So, yeah.
So that's cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, great change. This isn't a mechanic change, it's a flavor change, and I am so in love with it. So the On My Command ability got a rename, and I think this is the best change of 1.0. I'm calling it now.
Oh,
so it got changed to Hold Your Fire. And the lore is basically, your lieutenant tells everybody like, hey, quick, shh, we're gonna trick them. So you tell your warband to stop shooting, and the enemy thinks it's safe, and they pop their head out. And then you just start opening fire on them. So mechanically, it's still the same.
Yeah.
Like you pick a model, they have to activate them next. But it's like your lieutenant's a huge troll and like a dirt bag, and I love it.
So good.
And it's like the same model can fall for it multiple times.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just like keep picking the same guy. And it's just like, I think I learned my lesson. Maybe they're not going to shoot me this time. And he pops his head out of the car and they do it again.
It's so good.
I love it. No, this is a flavor win on so many levels for me.
An excellent change. We absolutely love it. Yeah.
This is good.
We see you, Factory Forgers. So next up, we've got the Trench Pilgrims. We mentioned a great starter army because they're just very reliable. You have a lot of tough models. You can play lower model count. So very popular.
Yes.
We have a few changes. This next one, I'm glad to see because we've all suffered at the hands of the punt gun in Season 1.
Yes.
What's changed on the punt gun?
So the punt gun gained the keyword shotgun, which at face value is like, oh, what does that do? But when you dig into it, so the shotgun keyword is -1 dice to injure at long range.
Right.
But you ignore the long range penalty.
Right. Yeah,
so you're more accurate at long range with a punt gun, but instead of being 3d6 to injure at long range, it's only 2d6 to injure at long range. Thank goodness. I know, right?
Sorry.
No.
No sympathy.
Yeah, Shane punished us for 6 long games.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's like, it's still good. Like, you can still apply the blast to just hand out a bunch of blood markers. Like, it still has a shrapnel keyword. It's just you're not, like, scooping unarmored models off the table. Yeah. So.
Which, again, makes sense. Still has a function, but just maybe slightly different than what you used it before.
Yeah.
Next up, the War Prophet, of course, an important model in any Trench Pilgrims warband. The Lay on Hands ability formerly healed for D3 blood markers. Yeah. Pretty fantastic. Now it just heals for 1 unless you crit, in which case it's D3.
Yeah. Still a very good ability. Like, it's a med kit with extra range that's not risky. Like, it's still a very good ability.
Yeah, people will do a lot to just have something that removes a blood marker.
I love the mind game too when you have, blood markers on you and you're about to do do you want to spend it?
It's so funny. Yeah. Another tweak is to their loudspeaker. Again, this is kind of just a side grade. It's just different, is the way I would interpret it.
Yeah.
So now the way the loudspeaker works is if you can see an enemy model, that model is going to be you're going to be moving 3 inches. The shortest possible path towards the closest enemy model.
The full 3.
It has to be the full 3 now. Yeah. Before, it didn't have to be the full 3.
I think it's like up to 3, but you had to go in the most efficient path, but up to 3, so there was a little wiggle room.
Exactly. However, now if you don't see anyone, it's just a move 3, which is cool. So you have a bit of flexibility if you can't see them.
Yeah.
If you do see them, then it's straight path. So, I'm not gonna say it's better or worse. It's just different.
So interesting. I bet you could have someone with a heavy weapon behind cover, not seeing anyone, loudspeaker, move them 3 inches out, and then on their turn they can because they don't move and shoot.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting.
So again, just different
little tweaks. Yeah. Little tweaks. Still a great faction.
That is the Trench Pilgrims. On to the next.
Moving on to the Iron Sultanate. Kind of minor changes, at least for the core stuff.
Yeah, pretty small.
Some good tweaks though, honestly. I like all their little tweaks. So the one that I've heard the most from my community, especially because we have a lot of Sultanate players, is the captain can get strong now.
Yes!
So no longer are these like Janissaries just walking around like putting the captain to shame. They're like bulking out like with all their heavy weapons and stuff. So for 10 ducats, the captain can essentially get the strong keyword and then the counter charge ability that the Janissaries have.
Counter ability is great.
So, it's good. It's good. But I think it opens up a lot of fun builds. Like I really like him with the Siege Giselle because you can just start like really being like rude to tough models because that'll be like +2 dice to injure on tough models.
Yeah, that's big with the strong keyword.
Yeah, because like his big game hunter thing, it doesn't say melee specifically. It's melee and range, so he gets +1 dice to injure against models that are tough if you're not familiar with the rule.
Right.
So it's like you're just harassing them on the way in. Seems really cool.
That's amazing.
But,
or you could do a melee version where you're more effective again with the new offhanded rules.
Yes.
So no matter how you want to build your captain, they got better.
Yeah.
Which it feels like that's how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be the centerpiece of the army.
They got rules for the bird too. Also, it's like
no way. Yeah, I missed that.
So I think it's melee attacks against him in combat gain risky.
Ah, that's cool.
So that might give you more incentive to take the halberd to give him -1 on the charge in, because if they miss, they're done. But I don't know.
So yet another way you can build him as a sort of like defensive tank.
Yeah, he's got a lot of different options now, especially with strong. So
that's great.
Good change. Good change.
So if you saw me play my game with the Iron Sultanate, I was super excited about the lions, and
cool.
I'm even more excited. So what happens now is they cause fear, which is great. They function currently as great kind of action monkeys, but also as great tarp hitters.
Very good. Very fast, very resilient.
Yeah, -1 to injure. You can put armor on them. They really get in there. And then, of course, people can't get up when they're down next to them, which is hilarious. Even if the lion themselves is down.
I know. It's great.
As they've like tackled them.
Yeah.
So adding fear into the mix really just makes them even better at their job.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great change for a really cool, freaky model.
Yeah. It's like, I think 5 ducats to upgrade.
Yeah, I'll pay that.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I would say the benefit is more to it plays more into the defensive aspect of the lion, because if people aren't ignoring your fear, they're taking another -1 to hit against the lion, which makes them that much more tanky.
Yeah.
Like their damage output is like, so it's like ignoring fear yourself. I was like, that's not really why I'm excited about this. But
exactly.
But it's a good change. Last change, which is step in the right direction, literally.
I see what you did there.
I didn't realize until I saw
Get out!
But I'm going to claim credit for it. The bull can stomp anything now. That brazen bull can step on anything, no matter what your base size is, which is good, because it's another way for Sultanate to deal with armor.
Yeah, they still have to be down, so you're already jumping through hoops.
Yeah.
It was just a little too much before, so you're going to be able to do it more often, and let them kind of lean into that role.
I think they can do it pretty reliably. I'd say if you have them with the Titan Zulfar, the +2 to injure weapon, which is a good way to put someone on their back, and then you just stomp on them. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. Also because a current problem with Sultanate is they do struggle to deal with armor. So any way to sort of get through that is good. Again, referring to Jamie's interview with Goonhammer, he was like, "We know Sultanate needs help with armor. We're aware." So they know that's great. And 2, this kind of helps with that problem a teeny bit.
Yeah, in particular, it's like the things, you gotta think of things that you're gonna be struggling with. So like the Anchorite Shrines, the Desecrated Saints, like the big base size models with the -3 armor.
That's what you needed help with.
So now you can kind of fight those a little better, I think.
Yeah, so again, kind of minor changes for the Sultanate, but great quality of life additions.
Yep.
On to my favorite faction, the Heretic Legions.
Yes.
Very popular, very strong faction.
Yes.
I think if there was going to be a balance patch, it would have been here.
Yeah.
And overall, there are slight adjustments to the faction. So the Warwolf, who I love, went up a bit in ducat cost. A few of the models did.
5 ducats.
5, yeah, exactly. Hey, it's something, Brian, okay? It's something. But it no longer gets +2 to your dash rolls, which was absurd. It's just +1, which is in line with things like the lions, in line with the hounds, or the dogs, I should say.
Yeah.
So that makes complete sense. It used to have limited potential, but now it has no potential. You may not enhance, or you cannot make them into elite. You can't advance them at all.
I feel kind of bad when you put it that way. He has no potential.
No potential.
And that's just not right.
I don't see a future for those guys, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's the Werewolf. Again, totally fine. I think it's an amazing unit.
No, terrible. No one's ever going to take them again.
That's it. They're done.
5 more ducats. Please don't take Werewolves.
They're so good.
No, they're going to be fine. Tartarus Claws next, kind of a small change, but still kind of impactful. So your 6-inch move between Berserks, if you take someone out or put someone down with your Freddy Krueger Claws on your Death Commando, you only get to move 3 inches and do another attack.
Okay,
so
that's pretty big for them.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind within 1 inch, so it's effectively 4 instead of 7.
Instead of 7,
Still a very powerful ability. The faction still has ways to set it up. Because you're Heretic Legions and the world is your oyster.
So true.
So you can like Puppet Master people together. You can Tormentor chain people together. You just got to work for it a little harder. But
Still a very powerful ability. It was just a little too much before, probably.
I'd say so.
Yeah. That does kind of lead directly into the third change we want to talk about for them, which is to Puppet Master. Yeah. And this was silly. Puppet Master before did not require line of sight. If you're not familiar, if you've never been a victim to this ability, this is a mind control ability from the Heretic Priest. And you now need to be able to see your target. Because before you could have your opponent do all sort of horrible things, but namely have them like walk into line of sight and do just horrific things like that. So again, just requires a little bit more setup. Makes complete sense.
Yeah, the big one obviously is walking people out of combat to provoke free attacks, or walking people off of like buildings or things like that.
Which you can still do.
What kind of monster would do that?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
But it's cool and creepy as it is I love like this little priest just like hiding in the shadows and like whispering horrible things to people. At least now he has a little bit of skin in the game.
They have to like get out there and beckon themselves. So you know,
good change. Yeah.
Makes sense. That is the Heretic Legions.
So the Grail devotees. I would say this is kind of a side grade, unless you were playing like the hardest thing you can in Black Grail, which is the Locust Spitter with 2 Grail devotees.
Yeah.
Then this is kind of a side grade. So now Grail devotees, which are basically an equipment you can get, +1 dice to injure. It used, or not +1 dice, excuse me, +1 to injure. Ooh. It used to be for both melee and range. Yep. Now it's only for melee attacks.
Nice, that's good.
So like your Corruption Belchers, your Locust Spitters, they're not getting that bonus to injury. However, you can now have 2 models with Grail devotees.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So you can have 2 guys running around essentially with +2 to injure.
Spreading out the love a little bit.
And you know, Grail, they have gas as their primary method of dealing with armor, but now with these devotees, and then you can take like a great maul for another +1 to injure. Like that's +3 to injure.
Tasty.
So if they have armor, you're getting through it. If they're not, like you're like outing someone on a 6, which is really good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And I like the kind of focus towards melee. Like this should not be a shooting faction. The Locust Spitter combo in particular was like very just not in the spirit of the faction. Some of the sub-factions have even less shooting, obviously, like the Great Hunger. But by and large, it's just like, they should have to get up in there, you know?
Yeah, and you know, we had someone do the Locust Spitter in one of my campaigns, just to test it, just to like stress test it and break it. And it's like, it's as bad as you think it is, because it just changed. If you're not familiar, it's like an 18-inch gun that ignores armor. When you hit the first target, any excess range you have that you didn't spend between you and target, it just bounces to the next.
So
it keeps bouncing until you use all the 18, which is cool because you're like unleashing like a swarm of locusts, right? But imagine like bouncing through with +2 to injure, ignoring armor on like 5 models.
That's
you know?
so gross.
So yeah, I'm glad. That's mostly why I say, you know, it's a change for the good.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Last of all, this is a model that we featured in our very first battle report.
Yes.
Which we perceived to be incredibly strong. We were told that was not, in fact.
I try to stay positive about everything in Trench Crusade, but I have a long-standing grudge with the Amalgam. Black Grail was my first faction in the Trench Crusade, and I've always struggled with this model because it's like 140 ducats and a +0 to hit.
Yeah.
Like it just
so much.
It doesn't hit anything. As cool as it is, like I've done like the Galactopus build where you give them like 6 pistols.
Totally, we love it.
They changed that, but so one of the coolest things that it was called Unstoppable. It could just walk out of combat, and like you could give it like Corruption Belchers, and you just walk out and like flamer people to death. You know, it's very strong. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
Amalgams are still very killable. But now Amalgams are stoppable.
No,
Adrian.
They're stoppable.
They're stoppable by anything larger than 32 millimeters.
Weird.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of things.
It's a lot of things.
Not even 40. That's weird.
They will stop an amalgam. So
okay.
Yeah, if we do Black Grail, like a deep dive into that faction, I think I'll definitely go more into it there. I don't want to just be super salty here, but
no, but it's fair to say. I mean, these are the kind of 3 biggest changes that we think that hit Black Grail for them specifically, and they're all negative, right? So
there are more, honestly. These are the 3 that I thought were kind of the more harmful. There's still some more changes that I think definitely impact the faction negatively. And I think right now Grail kind of has an identity crisis.
Oh no! Right? What are they?
Yeah, because
I will say, heavy flamethrowers now -1 to injure, and that can't be anything but good news for Grail.
It's all looking up for Grail. I take it all back. So yeah.
But no, I think you're not wrong, honestly. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about it if we do a deep dive in the faction, because I have a long list of things to talk about for that one.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know if you want to hear me complain about Grail.
I would listen to that, honestly. Well, while we're on the topic of things that you love dearly, let's go on to the Court of the Seven.
Okay, yes. So they nerfed my Warband.
No! no.
Specifically, the less themed Court of the Seven. But no, honestly, I can't be mad. I think these are good changes.
Yeah, they're good. It was very strong.
It was very strong.
Yeah.
So the 6-inch aura of Ignore armor on the Desecrated Saint for Lust went down to 4 inches. Like, A-okay, it was fine.
Makes sense. It's on a big base.
Big base, shooting the aura out even further.
Yeah.
Like, there are situations where you're having just too many models benefit from it.
Yeah, and this was, by the way, the aura that any enemies within 4 inches get no armor.
Yeah.
They are naked in the eyes of God.
Yes.
Naked in the guise of God. That's good.
That works
Anyways,
too.
and they have no armor. So it's very strong. Down to 4 inches.
Very, very
Totally
strong.
reasonable. Next up, mostly some cleaning on the Goetic powers, the kind of verbiage. So you have abilities, which are going to be your kind of passive abilities. So Goetic abilities just active all the time. Doesn't really require anything on top. And then you have your spells, which are your activated not abilities, things that you do, things that will require you to pull some blood and do a thing. It's important that they're formally defined as actions because it means you can't spam them out on one character.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a big problem, but it's just more correct.
If there was anyone in your meta that was like rapid firing fireballs, let me know because I'm generally curious. But please don't.
Right. It's funny because like unless you have a ton of blood, you're like doing 3 smaller fireballs.
You could do it. I'd still do 3 smaller fireballs, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still good actually. Yeah. So again, mostly cleanup, just kind of standardizing things, but also cuts off a little potential for gameplay abuse.
Yeah.
Then the last one that we mentioned is not related directly to court,
No.
but is very important.
It's a very big change.
Because again,
for them,
you need blood for your Goetic powers.
Yes.
What was the best way to get blood for court?
One of the coolest ways I would say is the Sin Eater. So this is a mercenary you could take, and it was a guy with -2 armor, tough, some amazing abilities.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the demonic keyword.
No, crazy.
So he was up there tanking blood, and you could heal him with your Goetic powers.
Yeah.
So he was a very impossible model to remove. But now he has the demonic keyword, which honestly, probably for the best. He's very impressive.
He probably should have. I
Yeah.
don't know what kind of mortal he was, but it was very
He was a Sin
unnatural.
Eater, Adrian.
Yep, that's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Big appetite.
Exactly. And similarly, you can't
Yeah.
pull blood from models inside of his belly,
No.
which, it's kind of a shame. I think it was cool.
I love it.
I think it's cool,
I think
but-
of Star Wars with the Tauntaun. Like, get in here, little wretch. It smells bad, but it'll keep you warm.
So funny.
Yeah, so you can have like little wretches in there as your little blood batteries.
Right.
But yeah.
I thought it was
it's
cool,
fine.
but-
It's probably a little too gamey, but it was cute.
It
Oh,
was
well.
fun while it lasted. So that is the changes for the Court of the Seven. And there we have it, folks. Those are, again, not all the changes, but some of the key changes that we noticed that will hopefully be helpful to you in your own games of Trench Crusade, things that might have caught you off guard because they are different.
Yeah.
But again, overall, this was 1.0. It's a cleanup. It's a streamlining. We have keywords that are replacing long-winded rules. That's nice and concise. There's a few points for potential abuse, whether accidental or intentional, that were kind of removed. And I think one of the big things is, of course, the potential for going to small boards as a standard.
I think that's gonna be the biggest one.
It really feels like it. So that's pretty impactful. If there are more that we missed that you think are important, let us know down in the comments below.
Yeah, I always love to see what people think are like. I can't believe you guys missed this.
There's always something.
Blades are now you can take 3. You guys skip that.
There were a lot of small things. So
There are, yeah.
Let us know. But it's a brave new world. Looking forward to the paperback book soon. And
Hold it in my hands.
what are you most excited about for in the future now that we have the official baseline rules?
Yeah, it's just making campaigns. I think the streamlining, like having that rubric, makes my life a lot less stressful.
It's a huge boon.
It's pretty rad. I am a big fan of mercenaries being able to promote because they can become more entwined with like the stories of your warbands, and they kind of become, instead of just like hanger-ons, like really just part of the identity of like the story that you're telling. It's very cool.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For me, I'm excited. I am, jokes aside, excited about the potential for a smaller board. I think I'm going to take that to heart on one of our upcoming missions because I have a complicated board in mind.
Okay.
And having to do a 3x3 will be much easier than a 4x4.
Less terrain.
So that's good. But then also, just anytime there's a change in the game, it kind of reminds you of things that exist. So like the Knights of Avarice took a bunch of changes.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, oh, that's actually a fun hobby project I really want to do. So
Such a fun hobby project.
right?
Yeah, very cool
I've got
aesthetic.
ideas for that, man. It's going to be fun. So lucky for you, we'll have some more Heretic Legions to fight.
Heck yeah. Great. I love it.
Of course, folks, we are still a new channel, so let us know in the comments below if you enjoyed it. That's going to really help us spread the word. If you're going to be watching this kind of content as well, subscribe, and just let us know if there's things that are coming up in the world of Trench Crusade. We'd love to talk about them on the channel. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, let us know as well.
Yeah.
We are just full steam ahead, regular releases, and Season 2 coming up sooner than you might think. TM.
Coming fast, yeah.
Yeah, anything before we close it on out?
No. Have fun playing. Oh,
I do have a point.
Okay.
Today is the very first day of this first podcast, so thank you for joining us. And also I want to wish Mr. Trench Brian a very happy birthday. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
You know I had to get it in there.
Okay, thank you.
The confetti effects are everywhere.
I got a podcast for my birthday. It's great. It's
You and the podcast born on the same day?
Could you imagine?
Crazy odds.
What are the odds? Thank you. Thank you.
So, happy birthday. Excited to dive into more Trench Crusade content.
Heck yeah, man.
With that said, folks, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch y'all next time in the trenches. Bye.